तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we have just ended the conversations of June 4, 1883. And toward the end, the incident relating to Bhagavati Dasi was really remarkable. Let us spend a little more time on that. That there was a maid servant, and of the proprietor's maid servant, and her character was not good in her earlier life. She came to visit Sri Ramakrishna, and she was talking to him from outside the room. And Sri Ramakrishna was asking about what good she has done. And she described that I have gone to several temples, and in one place my name is inscribed on a slab. And Sri Ramakrishna went upon encouraging her. And when he encouraged her on this point, then, emboldened by the master's words, Bhagavati approached and saluted him, touching his feet. Like a man stung by a scorpion, Sri Ramakrishna stood up and cried out, Govinda, Govinda. A big jar of Ganges water stood in a corner of the room. He hurried there, panting, and washed with the holy water the spot the maidservant had touched. The devotees in the room were amazed to see this incident. Up to this, it's all right. Bhagavati sat as if struck dead. At this point, Sri Ramakrishna consoled her and said in a very kindly tone, you should salute me from a distance. In order to relieve her mind of all embarrassment, the master said tenderly, listen to a few songs. Now, this portion is remarkable. Bhagavati was a sinner, and her touch produced this reaction automatically in Sri Ramakrishna's body. So what harm is there? But Sri Ramakrishna is Daya Sagar. Especially if anybody has done anything good, he encourages that. So by this, Bhagavati has become shocked. But Sri Ramakrishna's solicitude for Bhagavati's consolement is really remarkable. He sang for her. First he said he should salute from a distance. But then he said, listen to a few songs. So apart from the songs themselves, this incident is tremendously remarkable. How much solicitude for that maidservant in our eyes. How much solicitude for that sinner in the past life. And where the sin has been exposed by Sri Ramakrishna's body himself. And yet, this solicitude. So we enter the conversations of Tuesday, June 5th, 1883. Rakhal and Hadra were staying with the master in the temple garden at Dakshineshwar. M too had been there since the previous Sunday. So this is a Tuesday. As it was a weekday, there were only a few devotees in the room. Generally, people gathered there in large numbers on Sundays or holidays. It was afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna was telling the devotees about his experiences during his God-intoxicated state. This we are seeing for the last several days. But every day it is something very new type. So something very new will come. Master to M. Oh, what a state I have passed through. And Master himself is surprised over that. At that time, I didn't eat my meals here. So what he was doing? Madhukari, like. Like means what she? I would enter the house of a Brahmin in the village. Enter the house in him. Or at Baranagar. Or at Aryada. So in the village Dakshineshwar or here and there. Generally it would be past meal time. So people in the house have taken their food. Then the master goes. I would just sit down there without saying a word. So they should understand. If the members of the household asked me why I had come, I would simply say, I want something to eat. नहीं पूछा तो बैठे रहे, पूछा तो बताएंगे. Without any shame, but without taking an initiative. That is the fear. If he is hungry, he can say, I want food. Or like this sannyasi Narayana or something, and he has entered the house. Sannyasi stand outside, but has entered the house and not uttering anything, just sitting. And if they ask why you have come, then I want to eat something. So behavior is strange, behavior is absolutely normal, no etiquette. Now and then I would go, uninvited of course, to Ram Chatterjee's house in Alambagh. So I heard about Ram Chatterjee, Pujari of the Vishnu temple, but his house was in Alambagh. So Thakur is going to Alambagh. Or to the Chaudhries at Dakshineshwar. I think the Yogin Maharaj's people, they were Chaudhries. And they were in Dakshineshwar. But I didn't relish the food at the Chaudhry's house because they were in debt and something was happening in their house. They were in debt and they were declining in there. One day I begged Mathur to take me to Devendra Tagore's house. I said, Deven chants the name of God. I want to see him. No, he was a big man. So Mathur has to think about it and invited there to go. I want to see him. Will you take me there? Mathur Babu was a very proud man. How could one expect him to go to another man's house uninvited? At first he hesitated, but then he said, all right, Devendra and I were fellow students, so we know each other formally. I will take you to him. What happened and all that is not telling. But a stranger and a big man, celebrity, and Thakur went to his house. Mathur has to find out something to take him. Another day, I learned of a good man named Dina Mukherjee. Heard about him, eh? Having living at Bagh Bazar near the bridge, Bagh Bazar bridge. He was a devotee. I asked Mathur to take me there. Finding me insistent, he took me to Dina's house in a carriage. It was a small place. The arrival of a rich man in a big carriage, Mathur, embarrassed the inmates. We too were embarrassed. That means without knowing he had just gone. That day, Dina's son was being invested with the sacred thread. So there was a function in the house. The house was crowded and there was hardly any place for Dina to receive us. We were about to enter a side room when someone cried out, please don't go into that room. There are ladies there. It was really a distressing situation. Returning, Mathuravu said, Father, I shall never listen to you again. I laughed. So that is a real sannyasi. Automatically it is being shown through his life. No formality, absolutely. So people remark, what sort of a man is this? No, there is a para before that. Oh, what a state I passed through. Once Kumar Singh gave a feast to the sadhus and invited me too. Kumar Singh was one of the guards of Belur. A Sikh man. I found a great many holy men assembled there. When I sat down for the meal, several sadhus asked me about myself. That means his appearance is not a sadhu, na? At once I felt like leaving them and sitting alone. I wondered why they should bother about all that. The sadhus took their seats. I began to eat before they had started. Brahmarpanam they have not yet said, and it started eating. So absolutely no formality. That is the Mukta's Lakshan. I heard several of them remark, oh, what sort of man is this? So even that is not bothered about. A Jivan Mukta or a real sannyasi is being described by way of telling about himself. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the steps of his veranda. Hazra, Rakhal, and M were near him. Hazra had the attitude of a Vedanti. I am he. So that was his fake attitude to show to people. Master to Hazra. This Sadhana Swami is telling, huh? Now Master is talking to Adra. Not Sadhana Swami. M. Master Masha is commenting that Hadra had habit of being a Vedanti. Now Master is talking. Master to Hadra. Yes, all one's confusion, yes, he is starting. Referring to his supposed Vedanta. All one's confusion comes to an end if one only realizes that it is God who manifests himself as the atheist and the believer. So God is all. God appears as all. God appears as different people. God appears as people having different philosophical opinions or different attitudes. And it does not bother to God. Who manifests himself as the atheist and the believer, the good and the bad, the real and the unreal appearance. That it is he who is present in waking and in sleep, and that he is beyond all these. If one can realize that it is God who manifests himself as the atheist and the believer, then one's confusion comes to an end. He is everything. He will prove that he does not exist. We cannot prove that. There was a farmer to which an only son, this we read yesterday, but we missed many points. There was a farmer to whom one and only son was born when he was rather advanced in age. As the child grew up, his parents became very fond of him. One day the farmer was out working in the fields when a neighbor told him that his son was dangerously ill. Indeed, at the point of death, this has been told with a pause in 2 sentences. Returning home, he found he has not yet come to home in the way he heard this. Returning home, he found the boy dead. His wife wept bitterly, but his own eyes remained dry. Lakshan. Exactly, the wife said to her neighbor, such a son has passed away, whom they had got in late age, and he hasn't even one tear to shed. After a long time, while the farmer said to his wife, after a long while, the farmer said to his wife, so he was sitting in quiet for a long time, and then he spoke. Do you know why I am not crying? Last night I dreamed I had become a king. And so dreams are not only bad dreams, they are happier dreams. I had become a king and the father of 7 plains, 7 princes. Symbolic. These princes were beautiful as well as virtuous vishans. They grew in stature and acquired wisdom and knowledge in the various arts. Suddenly I woke up. Now I have been wondering whether I should weep for those than the dreams. Now I have been wondering whether I should weep for those 7 children or this one boy. So, Vedantic story that it's a dream is an experience, waking is an experience. I should weep for those 7 children or this one boy. To the jnanis, the waking state is no more real than the dream state. That is the conclusion. So he's telling his various experiences, and all are conducive by hearing to our own growth. That is why he's telling. God alone is the doer. Everything happens by His will. Two things. God alone is His doer. That means I do, you do. No. It is God who, according to His will, is working through this instrument we call I or you. If one realizes this, it is even Mukti Thakur says. Everything happens by His will. I have told you several examples. So the speciality is that here there are no sannyasis who are hearing. But truth is truth. Hadra. But it is very difficult to understand that. Take the case of the sadhu of Bhu Kailash. So he'll quote some sadhu. How people tortured him and in a way killed him. They had found him in Samadhi. First they buried him, then they put him under water, and then they branded him with hot iron. Thus they brought him back to consciousness of the world. But in the end, the sadhus died as a result of those tortures. He understood. He undoubtedly suffered at the hands of Marx, suffered at the hands of men, though, as you say, he shed by the will of the God. So, so they beat him or whatever. Master, man must reap the fruit of his own karma. So from that Thakur derives this. But as far as the death of that holy man is concerned, so he died. It was brought about by the will of God. The Kavirajas are Ayurvedic doctors. The Kavirajas prepare Makaradhvaja in a bottle. So this is a special preparation of Ayurveda, Makaradhvaja. Thakur as why he has introduced this. Huh. Where are we? Kumar saying
Next page.
confusion, Bhukailas. He died by the will of God.
After that.
It is very difficult to understand. Before that, I missed where I was reading.
Yeah, after Bhukailas.
Huh?
After Bhukailas, next paragraph. Bhukailas.
After Bhukailas.
Next paragraph.
Achha, that farmer's dream is over. But it's very difficult to understand this. Achha, something is happening to the sadhu of Bhulkailas. Thus they brought him back to consciousness of the world. But in the end, the sadhu died as a result of these tortures. He undoubtedly suffered at the hands of men, though, as you say, he died by the will of God. So how to understand this will of God? We see evil and evil and evil, though we have not seen him as evil. So all these are working below the surface. That is what is meant here. And when we cannot understand, we say it is God. Master, man must, but actual truth is this: man must reap the fruit of his own karma. That will of God. Will of God should be attended by God is compassionate. But otherwise we cannot understand, we say will of God. We cannot understand in the field of life. So know that the original man's sweating or something has happened in his body. So here the point to be noted is the will of God. Here that Kaviraj, Makaradhwaj. An Indian medicine made of mercury and sulfur, in the preparation of which gold acts as a catalytic agent. Now, in India and in many countries, search for medicines was search for immortality. What is the drug by which man will remain immortal? In this search, many researchers came out. Now, these two substances, we know them today, they are antibiotic. So, the Aryan people or Indian people understood this. And they were experimenting from this. So that is what we get, Makaradhwaja. Makaradhwaja, both mercury and sulfur were the only medicines of the world till this penicillin came about. The sadhu Abu Kailas was in Samadhi. There are many kinds of Samadhi. My own spiritual experiences tally with the words I heard from a sadhu of Rishikesh.
No, the paragraph before that.
Yeah?
We didn't read the paragraph. Makar's first paragraph.
Huh. Acha. Oh, Makarad is still going on. Huh? Oh, I miss it. The Kavirajas prepare Makarad in a bottle. The bottle is covered with clay and heated in the fire, and the medicine is made. Then the physicians break the bottle carefully and take out the medicine. So after that heating, the bottle has not remained of use. What the medicine, then when the medicine is made, what difference does it make whether the bottle is preserved or broken? So people think that the holy man was killed, but perhaps this does it make whether the body lives or dies? So he has introduced Makaradhwaja as a medicine for many diseases. Now, this man died. So people think that the holy man was killed, but perhaps his inner stuff had been made. Like after Makaradhwaja is made, the bottle is broken. So when the inner consciousness is built up, then the body can be thrown. So that is not called samadhi. After the realization of God, what difference does it make whether the body lives or dies? That means if he is not care for his life, he is not wanting to die. Let it happen. So, though that sadhu was killed, but he did not suffer on account of that. The sadhu Abu Kailas was in samadhi. There are many kinds of samadhi. My own spiritual experiences tally with the words I heard from a sadhu of Rishikesh, Vedanta. Sometimes I feel the rising of the spiritual current inside me as though it were creeping of an ant. Sound or feeling is like creeping of ants. Kundalini rise. And that is what he had heard from a sadhu of Rishikesh. Sometimes it feels like the movement of a monkey jumping from one branch to another. All this is about that Kundalini power. Sometimes it feels like the movement of a monkey jumping from one branch to another. Sometimes I feel the rising of the spiritual current inside me as though it were creeping up an ant. Sometimes it feels like the movement of a monkey jumping from. Again, sometimes it feels like a fish swimming in water. This is a new thing we have heard. Kundalini rising, fish swimming with water. That means infinite expanse it has got. Only he who experiences it knows what it is like. In Samadhi, one forgets the word. That is the main thing. Huh? When the mind comes down a little, I say to the Divine Mother, Mother, please cure me of this. I want to talk to people, as if it was a disease. Now the narration of all this is the scripture. How many spiritual states are there? Point number one. Point number two, if one is having any one of these, he should not feel sorry. It is a spiritual experience. So that is what Thakur is describing. Mother, please cure me of this. I want to talk to people. None but the Ishwar Kotis can return to the plane of relative consciousness after attaining Samadhi. So that is the line drawn. If he is not a Ishwar Koti, his body will go. So that is how we have got the Vedanta, through Ishwar Kotis. Some ordinary men attain Samadhi through spiritual discipline, but they do not come back. Their energy is spent. But when God himself is born, so categorization, Jivan-Mukta and all that, then he explains God. But when God himself is born as a man, as an incarnation, holding in his hand the key to others' liberation, then for the welfare of humanity, the incarnation returns from Samadhi to consciousness of the world. So Jivan-Mukta will return. From Samadhi, he comes back towards ordinary things of the world. M. To himself. Does the master hold in his hand the key to man's liberation? So the whole description is that if you come to me, I will give you that. Hadra. The one thing needful is the place, is the one thing needful is to please God. Okay? What does it matter whether an incarnation of God exists or not? Hadra is entering. Hadra. So his Vedanta is theoretical Vedanta. In between, M.A. has said to himself, does the master hold in his hand like the key to man's liberation? And then we heard this Hadra speak. It was the day of the new moon. Gradually, night descended and disease It was the day of the new moon, Amavasya. Gradually, night descended, and dense darkness enveloped the trees and the temples. A few lights shone here and there in the temple garden. The black sky was reflected in the waters of the Ganga. Okay. The master went to the veranda south of his room. A spiritual mood was the natural state of his mind. the dark night of the new moon associated with the black complexion of Kali, the Divine Mother, intensified his spiritual excellences. Now and then we repeat Om and the name of Kali. The Om. He lay down on a mat and whispered to him. Achha. Master, yes. Again, yes. Huh? Without anybody saying anybody. Huh? Yes, God can be seen. So that is the actual question in Hadra's mind or everybody's mind. And to some extent, all this experience of Thakur shows that there are states which man can achieve. The master went to the veranda south of his room. A spiritual mood was the natural state of the mind. The dark night of the new moon associated with the black complexion of Kali, the Divine Mother intensified his spiritual exclamation. Now and then he repeated Om and the name of Kali. He lay down on a mat and whispered to Om. Master, yes, again yes. Huh? Yes, God can be seen. X has had a vision of God, but don't tell anybody about it. Tell me the world. Oh. Now and then he repeated Om and the name of Kali. He lay down on the mat and whispered to him, Master, yes, God can be seen. X has had a vision of God, but doesn't tell anyone about it. Tell me, what do you like better, God with form or the formless reality? So, describing about Abhedananda, then he has asked what he wants.
This is about Abhedananda.
Huh?
Is this about Abhedananda?
Black. Oh, it is about himself.
No, it is about someone. Name is not mentioned.
Yes, God can be seen.
But who has seen? It is not mentioned. X has seen the God.
Here he has not about himself. He is feeling. And the meaning himself is explains. Master, yes, God can be seen. X has had a vision of God. About X I am telling. But don't tell anyone about it. Tell me, what do you like better? God with form or with formless Brahman? So he is asking as if everything is so clear to him. If you follow this path, I will take you. If you follow this path, I will take you. The master, he lay down on a mat and whispered to him, yes, God can be seen as a vision of God, but don't tell anyone about it. Tell me, which do you like the better, God with form or the formless reality? M. Sir, nowadays I like to think of God without form. But nowadays he qualifies, But I am also beginning to understand that it is God alone who manifests himself through different forms. So he has understood. Master, will you take me in a carriage someday to Martinea, Moti? Moti Sales Garden House at Bulgaria. I told about this pronunciation. Now, Mati is the real name. One name, Mati. Now in Bengali, this Ma is pronounced like Mo. And Mati means Buddhi. And Moti means pearl. So Moti is a name in Bengali, not Mati. But in other languages, Bengali, Moti, if we write Moti in our language, we will write Mo. But Bengali will write Ma only. Ma is pronounced as Mo. So Mo is written as Ma. And then, but Nikranji is doing it in English. And he knows it is Mati. So in all other Indian languages, it will be transcribed as M-A-T-I, Mati. But Bengalis will read this as Mati. Okay? So Moti shields, garden house at Bulgaria. When you throw puffed rice, so he is teaching Master Mahashay how to experience Nirakar God. Because you have to have some relation with God. So if he is Nirakar, how he is related to you? The only way is left is he is all-pervading. And that he will show by throwing something for the fish. When you throw puffed rice into the lake there, the fish come to the surface and eat it. I feel so happy to see them sport in the water. He is happy because he thinks of God. That will awaken your spiritual consciousness too. You will feel as if the fish of the human soul were playing in the dark ocean of Satchidananda. In the same manner, I go into an ecstatic mood when I stand in a big meadow. I feel like a fish released from a bowl into a lake. So that will be the idea. Spiritual discipline is necessary in order to see God, whether Sakar, Nirakar, anything. I had to pass through very severe disciplines. How many austerities I practiced under the bale tree. I would lie down under it, crying to Divine Mother, "Oh Mother, reveal thyself to me." The tears would flow in torrents and soak my body. So, extreme, ideal example is showing. M. You practice so many austerities, but people expect to realize God in a moment. So in contrast with this, we should understand where we are. Can a man build a wall simply by moving his finger around his home to be constructed? Master with a smile. Amrita says, Amrita is one devotee, says that one man lights in a fire and 10 bask its heat. If one man progresses spiritually, 10 people take the credit. That is what we see everywhere. It is good to maintain, it is good to remain under plane of the Leela after reaching the nowadays. So, use of caste. M. You practice so many austerities, but people expect to realize God in a moment. Can a man build a wall simply by analyzing her finger movements and is it home? So externally you are seeing M. Master with a smile. Amrita says that one man lights a fire and 10 bask in their heat. I want to tell you something else. It is good to remain on the path of the Leela after reaching perfection, after reaching the Nitya. Okay. M. You once said that one comes down to the plane of the Leela in order to enjoy this new world. Master. No, not exactly that. The Leela is ideal too. I did not talk about a particular thing that it will come again. I told in the general, it is a rule of the thing condensed or like that. That is what is correct. Eh? M. Now he puts that counter question. Eh? You once said that one comes down to the plane of the Leela in order to enjoy the divine play. So the dualists have this order. Huh? Spiritual discipline is necessary. So what you do, you secure the same thing. Huh? Master with a smile. Amrita said that one man lights a fire and 10 bask in his bazaar. So something from outside also I would tempt him. How many austerities I practiced under the bell tree, many severe disciplines. How have come some, but his feeling was jealous. Huh? I stand in a big meadow. I feel like a fish released from a bowl into a lake. Okay. Spiritual disciplines in how many austerities I practice under the bell tree. I would be doing under it. I would be down under it. To the Divine Mother. O Mother, reveal thyself to me, that tears would flow in currents, and such was my ideal. You know. So we are stuck with varieties of spiritual experiences. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriritam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimad-Atatam Vigrunanti Ye Bhuridajana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.